Let's talk about ice dams. They are not good. The water will find a way off the roof one way or another, or it'll turn into more ice and make the dam higher. The icicles aren't huge along here because it's a little bit warmer, so they've been melting, but look at the size of the one on the end. You want to know why that's like that? It's because the water will run along the dam to the end. It's also doing the same thing right here on the back of my porch. See how the water has run down at an angle? It's just going where it can. So I gotta try to shovel the bottom of this roof off a little bit and get some of this ice off of here. It's not ideal, to say the least. I figured I'd grab the camera and show you guys what it's about. I have ice and water shield underneath my shingles. I did it myself here a few years back. So, I'm not terribly worried about it, but so right here, it's slushy. So what happens is heat from inside of your house that leaks out will melt the snow from the bottom, and then it runs down the roof, gets to the bottom. The last foot of the roof isn't heated, so it freezes here. This is almost dead level. So I gotta get that off of there, or at least break some channels out through it here and there to let the water off the roof. You can tell I have a lot of heat loss because, well, it hasn't snowed a lot in a while, but, you know, look at my vents. Heat's been pouring out through there, which is what it's supposed to do. Melted around the chimney. The part that has the most snow on it still is these two back rooms here. Obviously not this left side. Wow, you can actually see the rafters. That's not good. That has 2x8s and it has R25 insulation in there, I believe. But the kids are also weird and never open their doors. So it's just cold in there. Now I'm gonna start by just shoveling off this bottom edge here. Probably do like the bottom 5 or 6 feet. Yeah, the shingles are wet. It's kind of crazy. The snow is great insulation. Almost be worth having one of those little cordless electric single stage snow blowers to bring up here. May have to think about that. Way ahead of shoveling. Look at how much slush there is down here. It's crazy. So I'm gonna do these edges. I'll come back when I'm starting to, I've got a hatchet. I'm just gonna kind of bust some little holes through. I had like a 3-pound maul, but it was making stuff fall off the walls, so let's not do that. Over here, I got some standing water on the other side. Look at that. Whole bunch. And be careful using a hatchet doing this. Put a hole in your roof. I mean, you need to be careful with a hammer too. You can damage things pretty easily with a hammer. It's about 8 inches thick. Yeah, there's a piece of shingle right there. That's why you gotta be careful. The ice is connected to your shingles. I had water, I had icicles on the wall over here. That's when I decided I probably should come up here and have a look. That means it's actually leaking through the roof. Or something like that. I mean, how would you know exactly what's happening? I'm just trying to get down through the ice somewhat without damaging the shingles. Oh yeah, look, I just broke another chunk of shingle off. Bravo. This is why you want to be careful if you have somebody come shovel your roof off and remove the ice. They can cause serious damage if they're not careful. I'm being careful and I'm causing some damage. But I also know the guy that's going to fix it. It's me. Just be gentle. I'm not going to try to take the ice off the whole roof. You can do it, but it does more harm than good in my opinion. Alright, let me finish shoveling this side off. I'm also trying to shovel it off the end so it doesn't go onto my porch down there. It still is, but just trying to minimize. Well, that's enough for me for over here. Well, let's go chip some drainage ditches here. Actually, I should probably do this valley. A valley is probably the first place you'll notice leaking. If you don't have a good application of ice and water shield, it pops right off the metal. I'm stopping short of the roof surface with this hatchet. You gotta be very, 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 very gentle. I'm just chipping this out enough to give the water a path. Not trying to clean it all the way off. That's probably all I'm gonna do right here. You gotta be careful in your valleys too. Those are, depending on how they're done, they can be quite tender. A couple more channels over here. That's it. Do a couple more of those down here. Mainly at the end. Seems to be an excess of water down here. So another thing you can do too is put some rock salt up here. I wouldn't use calcium chloride. It's a little hard on stuff. They make little pucks that you can throw up on the roof. Which probably I should do. Probably should do it preemptively at the beginning of winter. Come up here and place some around. Probably 30 or 40 of them around the edge. All right, do one in the middle right here. Yeah, you get the idea. I'm gonna go do the other side and I'll just give you a recap when I'm done. Okay, I'll get the edge shoveled off on this other side. This is the side that I built. The kids' rooms have, what did I say, R25 because it's 2x8 construction. This end, the new part in the ceiling has R38. Plus, I also, when I do my wall to ceiling roof area before I insulate, I cut 2-inch styrofoam tight between the collar ties, rafters, whatever, and leave a space at the top. You need to have that space to breathe. I also have rafter vents. I believe I put those in first, and then I put the foam on under it. What that allows is a really good tight seal at the end that you can put your fiberglass up against. Putting fiberglass in there by itself, it's not, you can't tell if it's in there tight. It's hard to get it to sit down correctly. Anyway, let me show you the result of the differences. You saw the ice dams on the other side. They were about 2 feet wide, right? And I also said, you know, my kids keep their rooms cool. There's no ice dams over here where the kids' rooms are. None. The edge of the roof is actually melted off from the sun. And then when you start getting into where my room is, we're not crazy people. We leave the door open and, you know, let it warm up. So I have an ice dam probably 10 inches wide. And then I can't even explain this other than probably good insulation, but this is over my living room. This room is completely open to where the pellet stove is. There's plenty of heat out here. There's virtually no ice dam. There's a tiny little bit. This is a gutter over the door. So that makes me want to tear apart the other side of the roof and redo it. Re-insulate it. And then just fill the entire attic with insulation, I guess. Of course, that stuff's not any cheaper either, but anyway, that's ice dams in Maine in the winter. It's February. Actually, today's Valentine's Day. This is what you're dealing with ice dams. It's a problem of heat loss more than anything. If you can prevent, well, heat loss and ventilation. The more heat loss you can prevent, the less it'll happen. Also, the better your roof surface can be ventilated from underneath, the less chance of this will happen because the water won't melt if it stays cold in your attic. In an ideal world, I would have an actual electric fan running in this attic. But there's costs to that. You know, one of those fans like that probably costs $500 now, and electricity isn't getting any cheaper, so passive is good too. I've got some ridge vent here and there. I'm not a big believer in it. I think it's all right. You got to have, it's got to be the whole roof. This ridge vent is not my favorite. I think it's something I had laying around. It's like Cobra vent or something. But I do like these vents. They're cheap and effective. I've got, well, I see. I thought I had more. I've got 4, it looks like. Maybe 5. All right, well, thanks for watching. That was what I'm doing today. All right, thanks for watching my little PSA here about ice dams. I don't like being up here. It's not as bad as the attic, and it's nowhere near as bad as the crawl space. So, yeah, and before I go, this is what I was talking about. It's coming right out of the vents, so how else is that getting in there? You know, it's not going in behind the drip edge and up over the fascia. It's coming in under the shingles. So, yeah, sucks. And then made a heck of a mess out here. So now I gotta shovel this off. That's why I was trying not to put stuff down here, because you just have to move it 2, 3, 4 times. All right, now I'm really leaving.